How's it going, guys? Welcome back to Crafting Cars. In today's video, we're going to be talking about little changes I've made to the Civic to get the drivability where I want it. As you can see, we're about to back out of the driveway. Before, this was quite the challenge. Now, no problem. So starting off with the biggest change I made to the vehicle, I went down a tire size. So I went from 225 45 R17 to 225 40 R17. And as you can see, my clearance issues are finally fixed. I was able to get out of the driveway just fine, and I could take roundabouts as fast as I want just fine without any rubbing issues. So that is huge. I didn't want to go down a sidewall size because I like the look of the thicker sidewall. But honestly, after I removed as much material as I could, I had no choice. And another thing I did that's also changed the ride quite a bit is I changed out springs. So as you guys know, I had the Tane Street Advanced coilovers on the car, and I actually had them maxed out. I had that lower spring perch all the way up, and you cannot adjust the shock body on a Tane Street Advanced. So I figured it was time to swap out those springs, and I ended up upgrading to Swift springs. Now those are really popular in like the drift community, and over in Japan they're huge. Those are known to be really, really good springs. And so I went up in spring rate. I went from 9K to 10K in the front, and I went from 4K to 6K in the rear. And honestly, the car rides just as smooth. Another thing I did was I adjust my dampening. I was able to go all the way from 16 maximum stiffness down to 0 maximum dampening on my Tane coilovers, and the car feels pretty damn good. Now, another little thing I did was I got a seatbelt installed on the passenger side here. So now, after I get the car dialed in 100% where I know it's safe, I'll be able to ride with Lauren in the car or have some friends in the car, and they can enjoy the ride too. Let me roll that up for you guys. And so now, you know, driving it around, the only things I know I want to change is alignment's got to be dialed in a little bit. As far as driving around town, it's fine. But if I do a pull, let's say, we'll leave it, we'll put her in third gear here. I'll wait till I got it straight away. If I do like a hard pull in third gear, I got a lot of torque steer. And some of that probably has to do with the alignment, but I think a bigger thing is my scrub radius. So I'll give you an example here. Here's a third gear pull starting at 60 miles per hour. Sheesh! Now that's a lot of fun. It definitely gets your blood pumping, but it's not very safe. Now let me turn up the brightness for you guys. Sorry about that. It's getting dark pretty fast. I had to take my little ND filter off. So yeah, I think a big part of that is my scrub radius. So with my spaced out wheels now, I took that wheel center line and I moved it outwards a good amount from factory and still a good amount from my last wheel setup. And that causes a little bit more leverage on those tires under hard acceleration and hard braking. So if I really slammed on the brakes, I might have some issues there too with the car wanting to get a little squirrely. So how am I gonna fix that? How am I gonna bring that wheel center line in? I gotta go with the new wheel and tire setup. Now to get the spec that I need and the fitment that I need, I have to go to a 17 by 9. Right now I got 17 by 7.5. I go 17 by 9 plus 12 offset. Now in a 4x100, it's hard to find wheels in that spec. I'm not gonna spoil what kind I got, but honestly, they probably won't be here for like 4 or 5 months. Those are built in Japan and they get shipped over here. And they're really gonna go well with the BMW E46 M3 GTR theme I got going on here. They look right at home on a vehicle like that, so it should be pretty good. It's kind of cool. I'm at the point now where I can start getting a little picky with things, you know. Small things like fixing little rattles here and there in the car. I want to do another bolt check. Every once in a while when I pull off from a stop or like I take a really sharp turn, I hear some creaking around front, so something must be loose. I've done a couple little checks, but I haven't gotten to the source yet. My rear Lexan was rattling a little bit against my third brake light since they sit like 1/8 of an inch apart, and the Lexan likes to kind of wobble a little bit. So I just stuck a small piece of foam between the two, and we've been fine since. See if you can hear this as I pull off. Yeah, hear that pop there? I gotta figure out what that is. See, we'll take a sharp corner here, see how the car performs. still hearing a little bit of noise up there. It might be my traction bar too. But it feels good to be able to kind of rip it in the corners again. It's getting closer to 9 o'clock. I had to switch it into low light mode. When I do eventually switch to my new wheel and tire setup, as far as tires, I don't know if I want to stick to a 200 tread wear tire or if I want to try and go to a 300 tread wear tire, a little bit more streetable. The 200's nice. I've got plenty of grip. Oh, those kids are looking at me. I'll give them a little pull. But I'm not sure if you guys have any experience on like a 400 horsepower build, if a 300 tread wear tire provides enough grip and streetability for you. That's probably what I'll go with. This is actually my second time filming this video. The first time I filmed my drivability mods video, I just kind of filmed it as I was doing the changes, but that video ended up being like really boring, so I figured it'd be more exciting to film it in the car. But yeah, I'll try to sprinkle in some clips here and there. For an example, I showed that with my last tire setup, I couldn't actually go full lock because the back side of my tire would actually run into my side skirt. But now I can confidently say I can go pretty much full lock. I got a lot more steering angle than I did before with the old setup, so that is a huge plus for drivability. But yeah, basically, we're just gonna be focused on the little things from here on out. In the future, besides for the wheel and tire setup, one thing I have been kind of having on my mind is electric power steering. I've been talking to a couple other guys that have more experience in that field who have done electric power steering conversions on their Integras and stuff. And I'm kind of coming up with an idea. I've seen people reuse the Prius electric steering column and make that work in the Civic, so I'll probably go that route, but I don't know if I'll have the time or money to do that before winter, so we'll see. Some other things that are coming up on the channel is hopefully some more podcast episodes. That was a lot of fun doing that with Logan. My Legend and my motorcycle both need some work. The Legend, I probably want to tackle the head gasket job before winter time. Like I said, last year, it seemed to have a seeping head gasket. I'm sure it's only a matter of time before she blows. So we're gonna swap the head gasket in that Acura Legend. I gotta fix the gas tank on my Honda Interceptor. I gotta replace the fuel petcock. It's leaking internally and externally. And I wanna drive that a little bit before we gotta put it away for winter time. And then my Dodge Stealth, I don't know if I'll have time, but that's got a small exhaust leak and it could use some motor mounts. If I work really fast and make enough bread, I should be able to get all that done by winter. Otherwise, I don't know, we'll see. I'll try my best. So thank you guys for tuning to Crafting Cars. I hope you enjoyed today's video. And yeah, I'll talk to Logan. Maybe I'll see you guys next Tuesday for the podcast episode. Otherwise, I'll see you guys in 2 weeks for a regularly scheduled program. All right, bye-bye.